We want to welcome you to the beginning of your broadcast day here at WPCM in Springfield, Joplin, Missouri, your home of pop culture minefield. And now, our broadcasting day begins.
It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Hey, welcome to another episode of TGIF. The Rowdy Crowd and I are here, and we have a very special guest today. It is...
Thanks, Gary.
This
is special.
Zach, welcome to the
needs.
show.
Not special needs.
And I'm going to put him in the numero uno position, and we're going to make him big. Whoa! And
wow, I've never been so big.
This is Chris Braley from Bleeding Fool, which is, in many of our opinions, the best comic book entertainment.
Thank you very much.
Online magazine. I love the fact that not only do you do a good job, you manage to parody one of the worst comic book websites out there that just is so fucking woke. It just drives us crazy. Is Bleeding Fool.
It didn't used to be.
No, you're right. It didn't used to be. I mean, it was pretty much my go-to.
All of them were really good at one time.
Yeah. Well,
but when I worked at the comic shop way back when, they actually had a print magazine. I don't know if they still do. Yeah, they don't. Yeah. And back then it was like, that was the way to get news, because the internet was still real young or whatever. And but yeah.
Does that mean I can make my own comic book website, Bleeding Tool?
You can, or
you could.
Just plagiarize Bleeding Tool.
Bleeding Stool.
Bleeding
I'm buying that domain name right now.
You are fitting right in, Chris. You are fitting right in.
Bleeding Stool, I might get some different types of people.
Would you like to know why I started it?
Yes.
Actually?
Yes. Because that is really my first question is, what inspired you to do
Well, Bleeding Cool did. Obviously, Uncle Rich and his website of Goons. For a period of time, I can't remember the Joker's name, but he was one of the moderators on the comments section there. And he was blocking people anytime you broke away from the authorized narrative of their website. This is as they started really leaning into diversity and inclusion, and Joe Glass was very prominent on the site, and somebody was crowing about the latest comic book, some superhero comic book. It might have been Joe's, I don't think so, about how it was so inclusive and diverse, and that this was the reason that the book was important and that you should support it and go out and buy it or whatever. And there were a few people in the comment section that were, how some people know how to troll just shy of actually getting in trouble with the teacher. Well, I said something like, isn't it fascinating how when X-Men, Giant Size X-Men #1 came out, that they didn't say anything on the cover about being diverse or being inclusive or anything like that. They just told a good story, had some cool characters, and it turned into a hit. And I got blocked for saying that. And I thought, what happened to my comment?
What a thing to get blocked for.
I know. And I thought it was strange. And so I logged out, because this is when I first heard about shadow banning. And as it turns out, I could see, I didn't know I'd gotten blocked. Actually, what happened was nobody commented. Nobody responded. Nobody thumbed up, thumb down, whatever the algorithm is there. And usually I would get a response. And so I logged out, and I could see that none of my comments would appear in the thread. So I had been shadow banned. So I started another account like, anyone, any reasonable person would do. And they know your IP address. So they just kept blocking me. And I said, you know what? Screw this. I said, you're just a website, and you're restricting basically freedom of speech. You just don't want anybody saying a comment that might make people think, hey, maybe what we're saying isn't always right. And
freedom of speech doesn't apply to businesses, though.
I guess, yeah, I know, whatever. So, but it still that means it's crap.
Right.
So I said,
well-
I'll go out and I'll just get my own domain. And it's not hard to do your own website. I manage a few of them. And so that's when it was born. I think it was October 2017. So we'll be 5 years old.
Right on.
And Rich Johnson has commented now and again on our Twitter thread, at least.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
So what he
In a
meant by
nice way, or was he being a shithead?
It was something. Oh well, what do you think? It was just him saying, isn't your
Tinge of
whole
snark.
point to confuse people about what whether you're bleeding cool or not? And I said, absolutely not. We are strictly a parody, a satire of you. We are the court jester that speaks out to the kingmakers out there and just makes fun of everything that's ridiculous about the. Really just geek entertainment altogether. Mostly comic books, but not all the time. Really, actually, probably mostly movies.
Yeah,
I like
I did
that
want to say, or go ahead, Steve.
I did like that comment that you were talking about with the whole X-Men thing, because that's the brilliant thing about X-Men is the fact that all of them were diverse in a way because of their mutant abilities, but the fact they all came together is because they were mutants. It's the same way we look at humanity. Humanity are still all human beings, but we're all diverse in our own ways depending on our uniqueness. It doesn't matter what you're putting your genitals into or out of, or what you want to identify, tree or bush. It's the generalization that your uniqueness makes you still the same.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally. And I think one of the issues that we're finding is that, particularly with what we refer to SJWs or social justice warriors, is they are now starting to claim intellectual properties and spaces and platforms as their own, and then demanding that those spaces or platforms either represent them or at least that those platforms are a safe space. That's why you have so many people melting down that Elon Musk just bought 9% of Twitter and is now sitting on the board. You've got people that work for Twitter that had Elon Musk blocked, as if Elon Musk gave a rip about whether or not he could see your Twitter account. But these are in these people's minds, they've got these delusions of grandeur, and they've got this narcissistic insistence that only their ideas are the right ideas, that they're going to be on the right side of history. But if you were truly inclusive and truly diverse, there would be a representation of all thought. To me, the best inclusivity is an inclusion of diverse minds, diverse opinions, and the left doesn't seem to want that. And we allow that on Bleeding Fool. We've had writers that, are Bernie bros, Trump supporters, not political at all.
I
how many
find there's
times
a lot of people on the left and right that dislike this shit.
Oh, sure.
Keith is liberal, I'm conservative, and we both completely agree on 99% of this shit.
May I ask you a question quickly, though? Like when you're saying, I want to know, as you said, like delusions of grandeur, is it really delusions of grandeur or delusions of grand manure? Because that's usually all they talk. It's literally grand manure. And then as soon as you use logical debate with them and it hurts their brain, they are the ones blocking you. And the best part I saw with that with the whole Elon Musk announcement was people that hate Trump are literally going, we're all going to leave Twitter because he's going to reinstate him. And the next day I tweeted at Elon Musk, please just write reinstate on your Twitter and just leave it at that and see what happens. Break the internet today.
I want to go ahead and show something real quick here.
Sure.
If it's okay with you, because this has been a question in the background. And yes, it is true. It's been confirmed. It's Variety and CNN both ran with it. Actor Will Smith banned from attending Oscars for 10 years. So not only has he resigned from the Academy, he has also been banned. This is something I said was going to happen. He's never going to turn in that Oscar, even if that was an option. So nobody's going to turn in their Oscar. Yeah. Nobody.
Of course not.
I mean, who said in the
Only
comments?
Marlon Brando.
Who said in the
I'm still
comments,
waiting on Sean Penn to melt his. When do we get that live video?
I'm still waiting for Harvey Weinstein's Oscars to show back up.
Yeah, they're not going.
Exactly.
Look,
Yeah,
never going to happen.
There was an addition to that article. Not only was he banned from the Oscars for 10 years, he was also banned from Jada's genitals for the next 20.
Shut up, Steven.
Don't trip over it next time. You kind of tripped over that.
I
That
tried
was
to
funny.
get it in. You think? I wasn't trying.
Yeah, the joke only works when you don't fucking stumble all
Listen
over
here,
it.
can you not white explain me, Gary? It really
Hey,
hurts my
Oh,
I-
jeez.
I've got to get this in because too much time has passed. I'm sorry. But what Chris meant when he said it's not hard to make a website, it's not entirely true. It's not hard if you know what you're doing. So people that know what they're doing, it's easy.
Fake
But
news.
if it's hard for you and you need a website,
Oh
that's
my
why I'm.
Yeah, he's advertising because that's what he does.
That's great.
He's helped us so much with both our company website for Pop Culture Minefield, as well as my personal art site. Because if you didn't know it, I sent you that link to look at it. Yes, I'm a comic book artist. I work in the industry. I work in the film industry.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah, you know it's really weird.
I'm a professional black guy, and I have a website. Sorry.
Also,
I want to be a professional black guy, can I?
You know what? For $99.95, I think we could find our way past to sending you all the proper forms.
I
I'm an honorary-
identify
got one of
as
those Scottish Lord things too. So
Yeah.
man, I'm set.
My buddy
I'm
just
sorry.
got one of those. He's
Sorry.
trying to make me call him Lord because of that.
Oh no.
I think it was for
Like
another
a-
reason, but hey.
taking my hand off the mouse. I got to apologize to Zax. I'm so used to handling again the chat that I've forgotten to leave it to you to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking my hand away from the mouse and I'm going to stop touching the chat.
Thank
Gary,
you.
step
Away from the mouse.
I'm not
Step
touching
away
them
from the mouse.
inappropriately.
I want to hear what the chat has to say about that.
I have a
Kyle,
question.
show us on the doll where he touched the mouse.
Since we're doing the Dark Knight procedure,
you
also
wearing
if
the
you're,
chaps?
if you're a Fortniter, I'm going to go off camera like he did. You can also use my creator code in the Epic Game Store.
I did
What
want to
is it?
welcome Hex
Wow.
Allen Comics to the show. It's
Sup,
good
Hex?
to see you, man.
Oh,
And of
amateur
course,
black-
I
I'm
want to
a-
say hello to some of our friends. Stone Pie Media is here. What is up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Soul Assassin. It's good to see you, man. Das Wolfen is a close friend of Phil. Phil. Okay.
Hail Das Wolf.
Am I high this weekend? Is it my turn
Maybe.
to be high?
I don't know.
You're high on gluten, Gary. You're high on gluten.
Well, I have had a lot of gluten.
I have
today,
been
so-
banned from getting high on this show. Speaking of bans, so I know it's not my fault.
Dude, Chris,
I'm starting a band.
You missed
and,
the most debacle of shows last week because
Oh, let's not talk about it. Come on.
Oh,
my
let's
buddy
debate it.
upstairs here, he has spinal problem, and
Oh.
he got a little too high last week to deal with his injuries, and the show went completely off the rails. I'd never seen it go so bad to where I was sitting there going, I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm lost.
Wow.
He got lost in the closet for 20
But we've,
minutes. and he
we
couldn't
talked.
get
We
it
got this
done.
stuff under control, and
Yeah,
the best
no,
thing to
it's
do is no drinking, Stephen.
What are you
and-
talking about?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Did I name you? I'm so sorry. Yeah,
I
it's
have been
like,
buzzed every week of a show and you've never noticed. What are you talking about?
he thinks I don't notice when he's hammered.
He does have a. He has a drinking show. When are you
I
going to
love.
do that?
I love
again,
when
Steve?
drunks think that they're not noticeable.
Yeah,
You
right.
just called me a drunk? I have one beer on a Friday.
But I got to tell you, man,
Somebody's
Bleeding
getting
Full
defensive.
is got to be one of the best comic recs. Now, don't get me wrong, because we're friends with John Trent over at Bounding.
John's great.
I
John
love
is-
him.
John is the Breitbart of this scene for sure.
Yes, he is.
We're
and I-
probably more like the American thinker. We're not nearly as prominent as Bounding in the comics. John has been at this for a long time. We're friends, John and I are, and as a matter of fact, we were exchanging messages this morning.
Well, I
about-
saw him listed. Didn't I see him listed on your page for all the people?
Hey, yeah, I mean, he
Yeah, I
has.
think I saw him on there.
He's contributed, but he's got his own thing. John was doing this long before I hadn't even heard of Bounding into comics until I started Bleeding Fool.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I feel like they've only gotten hot in the last few years, but that could just be because I've been out of it. I didn't know any better.
So
Well,
can I
you
ask
know,
you?
when
A que-
people-
sorry.
No. I just let me make this point, and then you go ahead. What I find is that the more hungry you are for good entertainment news, the more you look for new sources when you're unhappy with the current sources,
Yeah.
and that's when you guys all took off.
Yeah,
over the
something
last 2
happened. I really think that with the big Comics Gate controversy, that people started looking for a source that didn't just toe the Polygon or Comics Beat or the Mary Sue line. And it was difficult, but there were sources out there like Cosmic Book News and, of course, Bounding into Comics.
Yeah, it's Matt. Matt and I get along, but we argue every once in a while.
It's okay to argue. I mean, we shouldn't all be, one monolithic hive mind, obviously. But yeah, I like Matt. And of course, what we do, and there are others, and there are some people that agree with us that, aren't tight with us. I mean, I hope there are. I really, actually, though, sometimes I worry that we really are a narrow band of resources. Not that there's not a lot of people out there that feel the way we do, but there's just not a lot of news resources out there that sort of talk about things or approach things the way we do.
Well, that's why
there's also a big of a difficulty trying to build a platform, right? Like, I mean, there are so many places where people can get news, and we know that there are some reliable places such as Bleeding Full or Bounded into Comics, but many people still that are going into the hobby go for the, let's say, quote unquote, approved media, right? Like those places that have been there for quite some time, and they believe those things. So then sometimes it's like, nah, I don't believe those guys. They are conspiracy theorists or something like that. And the fact that your platform or the platform from Bounded into Comics as well, they are gaining steam and they are popular and they are also accurate in many of in what they report. I mean, it's speaking for itself, right? Whereas with the approved media, well, they are just falling apart with their takes, like Uncle Rich and his bleeding cool stuff.
And I want to thank you, Chris.
Let me respond to that for a second, because I think what's happened that's been to John Trent's benefit, our benefit, Matt's benefit, and others, is that particularly in the realm of the movies and the comics and Disney, I mean, they are doubling and tripling down on identity politics as being, this is the approved narrative and you must give your full-throated support. For identity politics and the transgender movement and this being equal to everything else and everything must be acceptable and Superman is going to be gay and on and on and on, that if you're going to Screen Rant or you're going to comicbook.com or you're going to CBR or you're going to Comics Beat, all of them are crowing about, this is awesome news. Pride Month, Superman being gay is the greatest thing that DC has ever done. And we want more. We demand more. Well, if you don't believe that in your own heart as a comic book reader, if you're kind of like, I'm not digging this. I don't think this is what I want in my comic books. I don't like that it's always got to be this identity politics. Why can't we get back to just entertainment for entertainment's sake? Why does it have to be anti-Trump or whatever? And you see that in the Twitter, like Eric Larson of Image is probably, well, he's not the most virulent tweeter out there, but their social media is so one-sided that that at least half the country doesn't think like that. But nobody is presenting it in a way that segment of the population feels like, well, this is the way I need to hear the news, because I need to know that I'm not alone out here, that it's not been some invasion of the body snatcher situation where I'm the only person left on the planet that thinks rationally. And we just happen to be here at that time. And that's why you've seen this advent of YouTube channels like you guys, or like the guys over at Nerdrotics, or Ethan's channel, or Az over at Hills versus
or our Simi dads over at Midnight's Edge.
Midnight's Edge is a prime example of that.
They are our illegitimate fathers.
That's awesome.
The problem is also we're reaching a point in society, and as a generational fact, where we're no longer looking at, let's say, media or any type of entertainment and discussing with like a Siskel and Ebert mentality of pro and con. We're now focusing on the hate click generation, and that's what it is. It's no longer, oh, what's good and bad. We just need to know about the bad. Who are we crapping on next? Who are we going to crap on tomorrow? Oh, and this and that. And then underneath that, you have the drama tier of who can we smash while doing this at the same time. Yeah. Underneath all that, we're then at the point where, oh, I like this, and then there's the villainizing culture. The villainizing culture is pretty much, if you don't agree with me, it's the same thing in here with us. In YouTube, it's the same stuff. You're villainizing because you don't like what I like or you like what I don't like, and all of a sudden you're the enemy. It's becoming this tier system of negativity, and it's soul sucking on every level. And it's harder to find the media out there that actually gives a valid and fair point of view without being like, oh, it's just Trump's fault. Like with the whole Will Smith scene, where if you see Howard Stern's audio clip, where they said, well, Will Smith's the same as Donald Trump. What? And it's
how they correlate stuff. It really cracks me up. But let's
there's no
delve too
pushback.
much
I think
into
the problem
politics.
with our media. I think the problem with our media today is there is no pushback when somebody like Howard Stern, who's this massive legend in radio and entertainment, that nobody in his immediate circle or no one that has his ear would push back and say, that's ridiculous, Howard. Why would you say something that stupid? You used to be smarter than this.
Well, that's the thing. Guys like that don't want to surround themselves with people.
No, you're right.
Caution them.
But listen. I'm a guy. I'm conservative. If you guys didn't figure that out, I voted for Trump twice.
I couldn't tell by the 2 earrings and the bald head.
Some people can't, but I will say this. I listen to guys like Jimmy Dore. I listen to guys like Joe Rogan. I listen to guys like Bill Maher. I listen to a lot of
Crowder.
Russell Brand. I mean, I like Russell Brand, but what's funny is that the things that they are passionate about with free speech and bodily autonomy and et cetera, are things that I'm also passionate about. We don't have to, it's not everybody on this side and everybody on that side. It's more like free thinkers or people who are just towing whatever the government wants you to say, whatever's allowable. And I like having a robust platform. The only reason you'll ever get booted from the Bleeding Fool platform is if you're just a name-calling jerk. If you can't express your argument or your dissent without being...
is that why I got banned?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. What's your...
That wasn't banned. That wasn't banned.
Okay. But that's the only reason you'll get banned from the site is if you're just going to call people names. And usually we'll give you a couple of strikes before we do that. But I mean, the whole thing is tedious. It's exhausting trying to argue with people that just want to argue. And to your point earlier, it is outrage clicks. At the top of our Twitter banner, I think the word balloon says outrage because people do tend, it's just like a car wreck. Have you ever been on the interstate and there's a car wreck? Well, everybody's got to look. Nobody wants to look at a nice car that's having a family drive. They all want to look at this tragic, awful, outrageous thing. And that's just human nature. I mean, we're all broken. We're all prideful. We've all got flaws. And so appealing to that base nature is a good way to, sex sells, sin sells. If it bleeds, it leads. I mean, it's just human nature.
But what if it starts drowning everything till eventually that's the only thing that's actually being pushed through, let's say, the media that we're looking for to be different of opinion? And that how do you differentiate if you're never going anything beyond just the hate clicks or the outrage clicks?
Oh, I hear you. I mean, you've got to have discernment. You got to have some wisdom. You've got to keep your mind open, which is difficult. Eventually we're all just going to say, Jesus, take the wheel, come on back. But until then, you just have to be clear-minded and just keep your wits about you. I think one of the problems when you see these people out here is it seems they've totally lost all rationality. And who is it that says somebody posts the L's of libs on Twitter or TikTok or whatever?
Defiant L's.
There you go. Yeah, which is such what a master stroke. I mean, that is the Babylon Bee of Twitter in my mind, just showing without any comment the pure hypocrisy of these people. But they've lost all rational thought. They're just playing a game to keeps, and you got to respect that to a degree. Playing smash mouth politics is. It's a strategy and it works. It puts points on the board. If that's
I
all
got to
you're
tell
after.
you, man, because I know Dork Knight has a question for you, but I'm going to make a small statement here. I miss the days when you didn't talk about your fucking politics.
Yeah,
it was a personal thing. That's nobody's business with my own. Those are the days I miss most. And Dork, you had a question, my friend.
Amen. Yes, thank you. This is what happens when I'm not stoned. I just I get timid and I was one of the articles on your site. I loved a lot. It's the Groomer Gate one. This is a subject I've been talking about for a long time, And I wanted to. So, how does this work? Do people come to you with the ideas, or do you have writers and you have ideas and you pick? Like, I have a bunch of questions, but like that just came to my head. Like, did you go to Jameson and say, "Hey, I got this idea. Who wants to write about? Do you want to write about it, or do you have like a writer's
Well, I mean,
room?
most of the people that write for us are pretty like-minded. So there's ideas that are suggested that get tossed, but almost every idea, whether it's Lucas or Captain Frugal or whoever, Jameson, we just go with it because we've already got a pretty good sense of what fits. And, we've got some contributors that are just reporting fluff entertainment news out of Variety.
No, but what I loved about this is like, this is not something you're going to see on any mainstream site at all. Like, I don't think this story.
You're talking about the one from this morning?
Yeah, the Groomer Gate, the Disney.
Now that, to be fair, that's Jameson sort of adapting David Ning's work from over at Breitbart. There's actually 15 examples. We only showed 10.
Yeah.
And then at the end, go get the rest.
See, I didn't even know this was on Breitbart because I've actually never been to that site for whatever reason. I just haven't. It's not been on my radar. I mostly do like nerdy.
Well, in Breitbart, entertainment is only one small sliver of the things they report on. I mean, it's mostly global politics, economics, and all other kinds of stuff.
Yeah, shit I'm not into because I hate. I'm so over politics.
Yeah, we're narrow casting in the entertainment realm, and when somebody has found a story over, like say the Peter Pischke, who has contributed before, he writes for the Federalist.
See, I would say this is kind of proving my point though, like because Breitbart. Is that considered that's not mainstream, right? Like a mainstream.
No, they're more
exactly.
Like from Post.
So so that's kind of just proving my point. Like we'll never see. And to me, I mean, look, I do not want to. My brother's gay. I have got no problem with gay people.
Me either.
No problem with like stuff. What I have a problem with is propaganda, and it being hidden as entertainment. So like the salty nerds, who I'm a unofficial
Matthew Kadish,
Kadish, but
Kadish, right.
those guys.
I'm Braley, by the way. I know you guys said Braley, but I don't care about last names. Go on. Salty nerds.
So last night he was talking on his stream about how they're doing this same thing with Star Trek.
Yeah,
where they're just like, and I don't know if this is true or not because I stopped watching Discovery, but he said by the end of season 2 of Discovery they had removed every principal cast member who was a straight white male. There were no more straight white males by the end of season 2 of Discovery. And he was talking about, and I don't know if this is true. I'm just going off what he said on his podcast because I hated Discovery. I had to hate watch it for salty nerds to talk about it. And I got to the point where I was like, guys, I can't do this I'll watch Picard and I'll bitch about Picard with you on Saturday mornings, but I'm not finishing Discovery. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And they thankfully respected that, but I just don't understand why these people, whether it's, sorry, Keith, I don't know why these people insist on, did you get that joke? No? Okay. Like whether it's in this case, it's like leftists, like in hard leftists, you know what I mean? I'm not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. That are just shoving this shit down our throats.
Yeah.
And, so that's why I appreciated, like, do you want to talk about this article or this subject any area? Like, I think people should check this article out. I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. It should still be on the front page. Usually they stay on the front page for several hours. We only post about 6-7 articles a day, and the first 4 will stay, the most recent 4 will stay at the top of the page.
Right. So it's not by popularity of the article; it's by
there's some that get up in the trending at the top because they're being viewed a lot or they're being commented on a lot. But we're not that savvy.
That's the kind of advice you can get from Dork Knight Designs and Marketing.
I think Hollywood in general, there's a lot of degeneracy in Hollywood, and I don't want to equate that to someone being same-sex attracted. I've got friends who are gay. I've had gay associates and friends for years. Right?
My brother's gay, and I knew he was gay before he did.
I have no issue with how you've decided to live your life. Right? It's not for me to judge.
Right.
But what happens in Hollywood is there's a certain degeneracy where these people that produce entertainment get a lot of glee out of their just entertaining themselves by inserting their political viewpoints and even sort of owning people who would disagree with those viewpoints. You know, whether you're making The West Wing or whether you're doing RuPaul's drag
race. Yeah.
drag
And this leads right into the cancel culture as well. Don't you think?
I think so, because what they've decided, and I think this is through several years of people just sort of opposing one another's viewpoints, that one side has decided, actually I think both sides, because you've got people on the right who do think that this is the people that support all this stuff are hellbound, right? And
that's what those
that's
are
the
extremes,
religious
though.
right.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like I don't. Like I'm more of I'm a registered libertarian, so I'm by default more of a centrist. But there are things like I'll talk to some liberal friends, and like I've had people unfriend me over some of my views because they were too right for them, and I'm like, I'm just a reasonable human being, man. Like,
it's just
like why do people have?
It's just a spot. What I mean is, like, if there's a dividing line here in the middle, and you've got centrists that float around it, you know, when you're over on the right, I'm doing this for the sake of the audience, right? No,
for sure.
Yeah. So on the right.
Well, that's the left on our screen, but that's fine.
Okay, whatever. Anyhow, on one side, you've got a wide spectrum of people that, you know, all the way down to fundamentalist Christians, and then people who really are libertarian, but they just vote, you know, they vote conservative.
What do you say the extremes are on one side? So it would be like the religious right versus the woke left kind of thing?
I would almost say, literally, you've got people who are either, I don't know if maybe it's the woke atheists, right, who hate God so much, right? So you've got plenty of people who are agnostic and don't care either way,
right?
And you've got plenty of people on the right who they think going to church is a great thing and they like morals, but you know they're not going to church every Sunday. But then you've got your people, and there's plenty of people that go to church every Sunday that don't hate gay people, right? But you've got some that do. And then also on the left, I think you've got atheists who hate God, hate Jesus, want to mock Christians, and are so opposed to it that they'll make Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, the most satanic show out there. Or they get a lot of glee out of dark Archie comics that, have Archie getting shot while he tries to save a gay politician or something, right? It's just this really strange world we live in.
It is. And, so I just for my mom, because I am one of those agnostic DGAF people you were mentioning. My mom, who's not in the chat anymore because she is watching Spider-Man, she finally got out of it. She doesn't just go to church on Sunday. She goes to church on Sunday twice. She goes to church Wednesday night, and she's in a crochet group that meets weekly. That's through her church. She's she's
active.
Very active, Southern Baptist. I love my mom, but like we have to agree, like for years, and she just finally stopped doing it because I had to because we talk every day.
Yeah,
she lives on the other side of the country, but we do talk every day or video chat. But we stopped talking for a while because for years she'd end every conversation, literally every conversation with, "Daniel, son, I love you. But if you don't accept Jesus Christ into your heart as your Lord and Savior, you're going to burn in hell, and you won't get to spend eternity with me in the afterliaf."
Wow, she loved you.
And I was like, "Okay, Mom, I love you too. Bye." But she did that for years, and I just finally was like, "Mom, I can't. If you're going to do that, that's just I don't mind that you think that.
Yeah.
But I cannot end every conversation with you that way." And she finally stopped doing that.
That's tough.
So I get.
Now let us pray.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to say this. I can't let another second go by without telling you, I go to church twice a week. I serve on our men's ministry. I mean, I pray every day.
Hey, I was in the boys' choir. I was raised Lutheran. My dad's Catholic, so I'd been to some Catholic stuff. Quite frankly, I think the reason I lost faith is because I was never molested, and I thought I was a good-looking kid.
Oh, come on!
I think you found pot, and that's what happened.
So I'm a devout Catholic.
When I used to smoke pot, I probably talked more about Jesus than anything else. It was
man, some of the most devout people I've met in my youth were big pot smokers, hippies.
It's from God. It wouldn't be.
Hold on, Dan. I grew up Irish Catholic. Okay.
Yeah.
Devout. I'm still devout. I still do my daily prayers, but I'm absolutely an agnostic. But it's so bred into me that I wake up in the morning and at meals and at bedtime, I still do my prayers.
Yeah.
And I pray for my friends. But it's funnier now because I usually say, hey, if you're there and listening, I'm like asking, hey, if you actually exist, would you please watch over my friends?
Has that ever worked? I mean, did it turn out good, or is this
I don't know.
See, that's
I'm like Homer Simpson in the fact that I believe it's just a bunch of stuff that's happening.
Okay.
If you are a Catholic Irish, I don't believe you because you don't understand everything that I say.
I still don't know what you're saying, dude.
That guy's speaking Indian again.
I want to thank you, Chris, for when he asked you a bunch of questions and saying stuff to you, you pretended to understand him.
It's clear as bell. I don't understand what you're talking about.
We're trying to get subtitles to go across the bottom.
Yeah, we're trying to get. I can't find a software.
My Google
to do
glasses aren't working when he speaks.
We're creating a GoFundMe to buy him a dictionary so he can understand. So if you want to chip in before you leave,
it's
you can.
The running joke of our show when he's on is that I just go, well, thank you, Viking. I don't know what you said, but the whole
I
thing
actually love his accent. Where's he from? Like,
he's from Liverpool, and
that's a Liverpool accent.
Well, he's doing a little thing with it.
Oh,
because he's a Viking.
That's not Cockney, that's for sure.
Yeah. I was like, what?
No, but I'll tell you that I love it when I'm watching British or shows about British people, and somebody from the southern or northern areas. They'll put subtitles when they're talking.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I've seen it even on the BBC. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Wow. That's crazy.
Especially from Scotland, they'll put subtitles under them. But now I know you said that you had to go. I hope you're still got some time to spend with us here. How are we doing on that?
Yeah, I got 20 minutes.
All right, good. Let's get some more questions in, guys. And
I had one, but I forgot it, so I'm sorry.
That's okay. We have other people too, Danny. So, Steven, you've been really fucking quiet, dude.
Yeah?
Got a question, man?
Are you hiring?
I'm putting you on the spot.
How much do you pay?
You're Johnny on the spot, man.
Send me an email to contact.
He's going to the bathroom right now.
Do you like raging Canadians? I don't know.
Wow. He didn't even give you his email address. He said contact at. Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. Hi, would you like to get a new website done? I'm Dork Knight. I do a lot of web design right now.
Yeah.
Let me promote myself while hiding my face in the couch.
Hey, you keep it up, buddy. I'll start shilling my t-shirt shop.
You know the website Fansided, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I wrote for them.
Oh, nice.
I wrote for one day and I said, I fucking hate this job.
Oh, no. Yeah. Writing is hard.
No, I enjoy it. It's just I get more out of this than I do from that. But if there's
I gotta be honest with you, I mean, sometimes it's a lot more work keeping the website updated, and we get DDoS attacks all the time, and we have to spend several $100s just for our hosting.
Yeah, who do you host with? Because I can help with that.
Let me say this: in March, we just switched to a new host, and I am tickled.
Good.
I love this new host.
No, I don't know what kind of. I actually don't like SiteGround, but I'm glad you do.
I mean, I didn't think I would, but I totally love it. I've got
depending on what platform, because I've been doing this over 2 decades, and I've used.
Who do you host with?
So I for me and all my clients, I exclusively use WP Engine because. And I don't want this to turn into an ad, and I don't get anything out of it.
Sure,
but they have, out of all the companies I've used over 2 decades, first of all, it has to be a WordPress site. That's why it's called WP Engine. But they handle all of DDoS attacks are not a thing with them. They handle all the security, all the updates. You get free SSL certificates for however many.
Everything you've just said matches with what I've got with SiteGround.
Okay, so they might be doing the same thing. It comes with the CDN.
I bet they are.
Yeah. So, in the cost of I don't know what you're
paying.
Plus,
it's super cheap if you buy like 3 years in advance.
So WP Engine doesn't do that yet. They only let you get a year at a time, but it's only like $300 a year, and you get so much for that, And and I've used I can't even tell you how many different hosting companies I've used in the 20 years, and I had used SiteGround in the past, but that might be a new service they didn't have back when I used them.
Listen, if WP Engine is working for you, enjoy it. I mean, I don't care who anybody uses. All I'm saying is that it's a lot.
No, it is, and I'm glad that you're not, because that's
and what I was going to say is I have considered many times just doing video. I mean, it's so much easier. You don't have to write it out. You just say everything, train of thought. It's out there. There's no changing it. There's no edits. I mean, it upsets me when I go back and look at an article that's suddenly gone viral or whatever, and I realize, holy, look at all these typos. How stupid. This article looks stupid. It's so Bush League. Because now everybody's a grammar Nazi, and as soon as there's a misspelling, it's trash tier.
We have Viking here.
They also have something, because like I was trying to say when I was talking about Fansided was my problem with Fansided was the editorial staff.
Yeah,
the way it was run, I disliked it. I liked it when I worked with Susan Layton, but she moved on to another magazine, and Susan and I have been friends for a while.
Okay.
But I was like working with these people, and I didn't like the editorial staff because it was becoming very woke over at Fansided. And I'm like, I am not going to be a good fit here. And I actually really did consider approaching you and John, because I like the way you cover things. But then I realized, as I was saying, that I like doing this more than actually writing. Because I think I get my ideas out better on these shows about how much I hate things. And I get to say things like, I hope such and such director chokes on a bag of dicks. You know, I can't say that in an article, but I can say it on the show. And I'm like, and I think that's why I strayed away from journalism, because I was in journalism since 95.
Wow.
And I used to work for the #1 alternative news magazine of Illinois, the Octopus Magazine. And I was the only conservative voice there, but nobody knew I was conservative because I was just so mean. But I did a lot of interviews, and that's what got me started doing interviews. And that's what I enjoy doing more than anything, is having guys like you, or having some of my actor, director, because we've had Rod Lurie on here.
Oh, nice.
Amazing filmmaker. He clearly likes Keith more than me because I'm conservative, and Rod is, of course, liberal. And he loves Keith. Gets on there and just, how are your kids, Keith? I've got kids too.
Wow.
Does not ask about my kids.
I'd like to believe that I give off a wonderful sort of air about me of just being a semi-competent person sometimes.
So fuck you, Keith. I'm competent.
Oh, so that's
everyone loves Keith.
I agree with Keith.
God damn it.
You know what, Gary? You know what, Gary? You are very good at being you, and the character that you are when you do this is very gratifying and helpful to the rest of the show. I'd like to think that I'm
suck up to me now.
No, that comes later.
Just remember, there's competence and incompetence.
Is our relationship changing here?
Uh-oh.
I have to be, look, according to the contracts, I have to be nice to you on camera a certain amount of
just
time
so you
per
can
day.
See me down here? I'm going to move up here to the top so you can see. I am very gay for this show. See my gay ears? My gay Mickey Mouse ears? I am gay for this show.
Wow.
And I'm gay for you, Chris. No, I'm not.
Wow.
But if I did swing that way, you might be one of those guys I'd go for. But anyway.
I'm flattered.
But,
if you ever do think, you want to write something, if I don't know why you would ever want to get out of this medium, but if you ever decide you want to write something, just, you can always contribute, to the website. We're happy for that.
I am such a sarcastic prick, though. I'm always, that was always
you fit right
my
in.
big fear.
You fit right in. Well, sometimes we have satirists that write articles that, it's strictly tongue-in-cheek, so.
Like one of my first Halloween reviews for the magazine I worked for was talking about scariest moments in film, and number 5 was Sigourney Weaver's ass in Alien.
Oh, brother.
God.
And I put a photograph of her ass, and I'm like, that shit's scary. I've never seen
that ugly
anything
pair
that
of panties
flat.
that she had on?
They're ugly granny panties and a flat ass. She has no curve.
Yeah, poor Sigourney.
So you guys want to hear the worst pickup line ever? A buddy of mine that just reminded me of used to use.
What?
He said, "Damn girl, you fart out that thing." Talking about her butt. It was terrible.
Did that work out for him?
No, he got slapped multiple times.
Maybe that's what he was going for.
Yeah, maybe that's his thing.
He may just be one of those pain dudes.
Masochist.
I can tell you this: one of the best things to say to a girl who just rejected you in a very rude way for asking her to dance. I did this in 1980. 1982. I did it in 1982 at the Pizza Hut discotheque next door to it called the Beehive. Asked a girl to dance. She got snotty with me, and I said, $25? I could get a midget for less than that.
This is good content.
$25.
I hope your listeners and viewers are writing this down. This is good content.
Yeah. So
pickup artist right
I
there.
really want us to address the question that's been on the screen for a while, because this was one I was going to ask.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a really good question.
Yeah, Das Wolfen is one. He's from the Springfield area. He's a good friend of Keith's and mine, and he's a sharp dude. So, Chris, what was the biggest scoop that you ever broke?
I think really probably what Penny Parker did a series of exposés where she exposed the Whisper Network that were basically a cabal of women in the comic book industry that were trashing men who weren't allies of theirs. She had been invited because she also
don't have the right way of thinking. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, she got into a private Facebook group where all these women, I mean, Kelly Sue DeConnick, I'm trying to remember some of the women that are, what's the big...
Whale Simone.
Alex de Campi
Whale
was it, I
Simone.
think, also?
Yes.
Nice.
She had, Mags Visaggio. She had all
Simone.
these Facebook posts that were damning. And so that was probably the biggest scoop. Usually we're about 72 hours behind the news.
There's the graphic, by the way, from your that article.
Nice.
Yes. I don't think we originally had the word busted across the front of it, though.
Somebody must have added that.
So did you guys, do you have a graphics guy? Do you make your own graphics? I'm just curious.
I usually do them. Yeah,
Did you do that? Did you do that one?
We found that. That's
okay.
pop art out there. That's some stock stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm
Zach's
Has there
asking-
been a giant scoop you decided not to break? If so, why?
Well, a lot of times, if it's something that we can't verify, like on the Bill Willingham story that was part of that Whisper Network, we didn't have the police report. We didn't know if any of it was true, and we did eventually break it, and we did break it first. So I guess that wouldn't qualify. I actually talked to Bill Willingham online before we decided to go with that story. That was a Stephanie Cook, who was also in the Whisper Network. She had embezzled.
Is this
like
breaking
10
news?
grand.
This
Yeah.
embezzlement thing?
Yeah, we did actually break that. So what is one that we didn't break? I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything else that we've passed on. Although there have been people that have pitched us some stuff that sounded so ridiculous that I just deleted it and moved on. So I mean, we may have missed a few scoops.
Yeah.
We don't do blind items though. So I mean, a lot of people come at us with blind items. And I appreciate that because people want us to cover certain things that are important to them. And like I said, you might start feeling alienated if all you're doing is going to Screen Rant or CBR or something, and it's all one-sided opinion about stuff. I mean, nothing has surprised me more than seeing shill reviewers elevated to, you see movies or comic books out there that are just shite. And they're being they're hailed as this great product, and it's really not. And it's not going to appeal to most people, and it's treated like it's a big deal. And you just see that more and more and more. So we've got these readers who are sort of immersed in that. That's all they see, and then they've suddenly discovered Bleeding Fool, and it's like, oh my gosh, I hope they'll cover this, I hope they'll cover that, or whatever. And like I said, we only do 5, 6, 7 stories a day, and I've only got so much bandwidth to go through and edit this stuff. And, we can't cover everything is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, nobody can. When I first moved out to Vegas, I started a website with my buddy. The whole reason I moved out here was a friend of mine who was my best friend since 6th grade. And I'm not going to bring the chat down or
please, no more dead friends.
It's the same friend. Anyway,
Okay.
So I moved out here. And we started a website kind of like yours called Postmodern Moron. And it was Parody. And the premise, and this was all my friend Jason's idea. The premise was that we live in the age of the postmodern moron because you don't have to be smart anymore because we've all got these. You know what I mean? We can Google something, we can look something up, we can at any time. And so people have lost, like, his whole point was like, people are just idiots now. So we would do all these really funny stories. When he passed, I took the site down. And I've been thinking about bringing it back up, just like it's an archive thing, like not like redo it or whatever. But
do you have any? Do you think any of the posts are evergreen? Like you could post them right now and people would
Oh, there's tons. Oh yeah, because we did a lot of Star Trek stuff. He had a section called horror scopes. So instead, so they were. What was that? Oh wow! So they like I
wanted to show people. I would love to promote his website.
Oh yeah,
at some point.
Bleedingfool.com.
Oh yeah, might as well mention the web address.
Yeah, it's bleedingfool.lgbtq.woke. No, it's just bleeding.
SJW.
Fool.
Don't forget that. NPC.
Bleedingfool.com. Right there. See it right there?
Yeah.
There it is.
Thank you so much.
You bet. I love this. And I love this story right now, by the way, the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes story.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think this is a contractual deal where he just doesn't have to go film a third movie, or do you think that's still coming, or what?
I think that if they don't do a third movie, it's a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But he is really trying to position himself for being too old to act. It's really what this is all about. I know it is. He's a very shrewd dude.
Yeah.
And
gosh, though, in my mind, he seems to have at least another 20 years in him.
I think so too. Tom Cruise even has probably another 10 to 20 years for his career. But the fact is, I think he's really trying to establish a nest egg. And producing 2 Sherlock Holmes shows on HBO Max is a smart move for him.
Oh, sure.
But he really needs to do a third film. They need to at least have one more with him. Because as much as it's really not Sherlock Holmes from the books, I fucking love those movies.
I never saw the second one. I've got a digital copy of it. I need to check it out. I think Downey Jr. is a national treasure, though. I mean, I think
he is.
He should do as many more films as possible. I don't want him to go like Bruce Willis and just start doing. I have the feeling the reason we saw so many bad Bruce Willis movies lately is possibly because he's been having these health issues for a little while. And
we scooped that, by the way.
Yeah, we did.
On our
My
show,
mom even called me about it. Yeah,
because
great.
I have 15 years medical, working in nursing and in paramedicine as a paramedic.
Yeah,
and I worked for 2 years dealing with people with Alzheimer's, and I specialized in Alzheimer care.
Yeah,
and one of the first things I brought up was, as you move into separate stages of Alzheimer's or dementia or other organic brain diseases, is aphasia, which also includes the inability to eat too.
Right. Oh, I didn't know that.
And or eat.
Wow.
What was it? 4 days later, it comes out. Finally, the media, because I'm like, why is the media ignoring this? This is clearly true.
Yeah, we all kept. It was a New Zealand site that we got. Like
New Zealand is where we got the story.
Yeah, nobody in America was talking about it. I'm not going to say it's because of your show, but it might have been.
What the fuck, Bleeding Fool? Where were you?
Why did we ignore that story? I think my time is up. I think it's time
because New Zealand covered it. And then the only people we knew that spoke about it was Red Letter Media. You know them too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love them. I haven't watched them in a while.
I do. I still watch them religiously.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy them. I just can't do videos over 30 minutes unless I just have the time.
That's
a TV show, and I watch so little TV these days.
There's a little wheel down at the bottom corner of the video.
I know. I speed
it up all the time.
You can't do the live stuff, but yeah, you're right. I like I subscribe to them. I get the notifications. I watch most of their stuff. I'm shocked that they're still going through. Are they still going through Discovery, or are they still going through Picard?
They just finished episode 2, the last one I saw.
Okay,
they were talking about episode 2.
I'm like you. I can't watch stuff that I just can't stomach anymore. I'm willing to give anything a shot.
That's the problem with a lot of shows. Like I have a problem with news programs when they show clips of people I fucking don't want to hear.
Yeah,
and I get so annoyed. I mute the TV. I'm like, God damn it!
Of course.
Stop making me listen.
I mean, but now you can go on YouTube or Telegram or whatever and just watch the highlights of any of these shows.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what. I haven't had. cable or
We're
satellite.
such a we ever since drive-throughs at restaurants and microwaves, we've been the most impatient race or species on the planet because now I don't want to wait anymore. You remember when you used to have to wait until stuff came on home video? You usually had to wait a year.
It's 6 months to a year.
Yeah, now it's 30 days, maybe
30
same
days. It's
day.
no longer
I mean,
in
there's
theaters.
no
We're
wait.
selling it to you.
You used to have to
remember
listen.
the 90s?
You'd listen to the radio and maybe call the DJ. Hey, can you play so and so? And you'd listen for an
Just don't
hour or
get
so.
that
They'd
much
never get
anymore.
around to it.
Now you got Spotify,
Do you remember
baby.
when you
YouTube,
wanted to
whatever.
buy
Yeah.
a video VHS? It was
Yeah.
like $70 to $100.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, I do not miss those days, dude. But
Those
I wanted to
actually were
say-
good times. That was actually good times because you didn't spend all your time consuming products. You spent time with your friends. You spent time in nature. You got out and did stuff. You built stuff.
The best part about those times was you didn't have this damn phone 24/7, and you could go home and check your answering machine, and then call people back without them being really.
Hey, I'm guilty
off.
of it too. I'm guilty of it too. But you're
I'm
right.
notorious for ghosting people. But hey, Flaccid, which I don't know why Flaccid didn't come back on the show because I love Flaccid. Really, I love their logo. It's a Flaccid
Sounded
Phoenix.
dirtier than you meant it.
It's filthy as fuck. Flaccid is such a cunt. No, I love you, Flaccid. He says, I think RDJ is going to be in the new Chris Nolan movie, which I don't know.
Yes.
What is it?
Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
It's
He's
a
part of that
biography of,
amazing
Oppenheimer.
cast.
Wow.
He is
really?
part of that amazing. I mean, that is going to be huge. That is Oscar bait incarnate, is what that movie is.
Matt and I have been following Oppenheimer.
I don't know.
on
Oscar
show.
baiting is really perverted. I'm sorry.
Well, but,
You asked for that. You asked for that.
Oppenheimer.
Sorry, buddy.
It's great.
This might actually be one to watch out for because Matt and I have been following the behind the scenes of this on our show on Saturdays, and it's got Cillian Murphy starring as Oppenheimer, Emily Blunt. It's
I love
a big
Emily Blunt.
cast. It is.
And before you go, because you bring up Cillian, I want to point out the finale of Peaky Blinders just happened for the series.
Oh my God!
But they opened for a new film.
Don't.
Okay,
I'm
not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
Shut up, Danny.
They all died. They all died, Danny.
I love that show.
Did you watch it? Are you a fan, Chris?
I started watching several episodes and I liked it, but my wife didn't get into it. And
oh yeah, I know how that goes. Don't worry about it.
well, it's sort of like any shows like that I have to watch after she goes to sleep. You know, I just plug the headphones into the Roku connection and watch them that way. And I just haven't got back around to it. It's in the queue. So upon your recommendation, I'll continue.
Oh, it's so good.
I love that show because it really likes to play around with actual historical events. And they really touch on the politics at times because people do not know just how heavily the Communist Party worked in England. It's why they got socialized medicine.
Okay.
In 1947.
And you do understand those wankers when they speak? But you also get a dictionary.
Stop whining.
Where are the subtitles? I don't know what you're saying. I'm just kidding.
We've got such an embarrassment of riches with content these days. I mean, I could tell you so many shows I've got in the queue or digitally downloaded or whatever that I just haven't gotten around to. And I've maybe sampled. I've even got, I've only watched a little bit of, I used to be heavy MCU, but after Endgame, I didn't watch Captain Marvel. I still haven't finished Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel was only good in the first act. Once it started going into the second act, at the farm,
that's how far I got.
Lost the film.
I got 2 acts into Black Widow. I watched 2 episodes of Loki, 1 or 2 episodes of
Moon Knight is the first
Moon Knight
Disney Plus Marvel show that nails it.
I'm surprised we haven't talked about
loved it.
Moon Knight. Okay. Wow. Well, I feel like Marvel can't keep expanding the same connected universe forever. This is so unprecedented. They've got to start doing these little things that, yes, it could exist in the MCU proper, but it doesn't have to have any connection to it, because the more they keep doing that, everything has to be so canonized and historical. And oh, look, there goes the Falcon. You know, you don't need
Chris,
everything. Oh, look, there's Matt Murdock. Hey, is Daredevil now in the MCU?
Have you seen?
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of complaints over the introduction of Daredevil. I forgot.
Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox. Look, I think it's fine.
No, I'm talking about the other character the D'Onofrio plays.
The Kingpin.
Bringing it
Kingpin.
to Echo instead of just launching their show. And what it is they need those characters to launch these shows because not enough people give a shit.
Well, no,
are they going to get, or is Robert Downey Jr. contractually obligated to be in the transgender Ironheart show or whatever they've got going on? Is that
he will be, but he's not contractually obligated.
Wait. What? There's a transgender Ironheart now?
Transgender Disney Plus Iron Man spinoff. Look it up.
Yep. But,
based on the comic,
just to point it out, I'm going to point out something about Marvel because Marvel's been doing this shit for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Back in 1986, what did I stop doing, Keith?
Reading comic books.
Because of
woke wankers and cunts.
No, the Secret War. It was the Secret War.
That's what I just said.
The new Secret War. Okay.
I got
Secret
so
Wars
pissed
2?
off at Marvel.
The latest one that
the one that was in 1986. Well,
with the Beyonder or what was his name?
All of that. Yeah. I got so fucking angry at the marketing because they were making me buy.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't force me, but in order to get the full story, I had to buy some of the lesser selling titles. And that's what they're doing.
Oh my God.
Right
you
now
sound like
with
really
shows like Echo.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Can I please say something? Especially you as a comic book artist, man. That's been happening forever. Like the Craven's Last Hunt. You know how I only collected Amazing Spider-Man, but that freaking storyline made me buy a spectacular
but the
book.
Craven wasn't as big as Secret Wars.
But wasn't that just like 4 issues or something?
Yeah, that was all it was. I'm talking about where they were spreading it over the entire thing.
Yeah.
And
that's why you just wait for the trade.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with the trade.
And that's what ended up happening is I gave up reading comic books. I stopped saying I hit that point where I said I'm tired of waiting 30 days to get the fucking story.
Sure.
I am going to wait for trade paperbacks to come out. I'm going to read those, and then of course the real birth of graphic novels was 86 as well. That was when it came out. So I found it funny that like my best friend who's a producer on our show, Jim Woodward, we grew up together. He was the one who says, well, you should read Watchmen or Batman Returns or whatever that Dark Knight Returns. And I'm like, okay. And I went and I bought them. I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
This is the new format for me. Yeah.
I get the entire fucking story arc, the character arcs, everything. One book. And I was done with
it at that point. Now I'm kind of a completist too, so I know that mentality about not wanting to miss out on some little bit. And even back in the day, I would watch all the DVD extras on shows, all the behind the scenes stuff. I like all that stuff, so I'm a completist in that way. But I've given up on Marvel. Period.
Well,
the
Marvel
only thing
is
I'm
still
getting
doing
from
that
Marvel,
same thing, though, Chris. You see that?
What's that?
They're using that same tactic.
Oh, yeah, in the MCU. I agree with you. I was going to say, though, with Marvel Comics, I've given up. The only thing I'm getting from them are the Conan Omnibus.
Oh, my God. The art is so amazing. Even though they did that one change.
When they're done printing those, I'm done with Marvel altogether. But MCU, I've just decided if I'm not enjoying it, I'm done. I'm going to tap out and I'll go listen to the next, or I'll go watch the next one. I'll try it if it interests me. But I got to say this about Spider-Man: No Way Home, and this is not a spoiler. I hope.
Well, my mom's not in it anymore. She's actually watching that movie right now, so it's good.
Well, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I had taken my daughter. My daughter's 22 now, and one of the first movies we went to see was Spider-Man 2 at the theater. She was 4 or 5 years old.
I have a similar story with my 23-year-old son. That's awesome.
She loved it, and she wound up eventually seeing the Garfield flicks without me on her own. I mean, so she got into it, right? Well, she doesn't watch TV at all. She doesn't follow the media. She sure doesn't read Bleeding Fool, so she didn't know anything about Spider-Man: No Way Home. And I bought tickets to go see it in IMAX. And of course, she knows all the Spider-Men. Toby, she knows Andrew Garfield. She knows them all. And man, what a roller coaster ride. And I think that movie did something that was so unprecedented in bringing all that together that I don't think audience goers have had an experience like that since something like Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman or some other crossover that you never
That's
thought
a really
you'd
good
see.
comparison too, because that's what it was like.
Yes, it was beyond meta. I don't know how to explain it, because it's like, am I really seeing this on the screen? You know, it would almost be like multiple James Bonds appearing in the same James Bond movie, which it couldn't be because of that universe isn't built like that, but the Marvel universe is, you know, so it was really smartly done, and you could quibble and nitpick it, I guess, if you want.
I love that.
To
movie.
me, it was close enough to perfect to enjoy it.
I can't.
That another example of DC or Warner Brothers being slow, considering how long they had the whole Michael Keaton.
I would really
situation.
Like, I know you got to go. We're at that mark.
Well, I want Keith to say what he's saying, because I know where he's headed. And this Flash movie, I think the whole problem is Ezra Miller is the holdup on this Flash. Well, they couldn't get a director that wanted to finish it. They started doubting whether or not they needed to have Grant Gustin or they needed to go with Ezra Miller. I don't even know why they're putting this movie out now, but I guess they just have to.
Well, they've already shot some.
I know.
Here's the thing, because
it's
a Flashpoint type of movie, they could shoot one scene at the end, like where Flash comes back and it's Grant.
Wouldn't that be a treat?
It won't be. And look, Keith.
No, you're right. Don't ever get your hopes up for a DC movie.
Keith nailed it in the fact that, look, I told him, I said, don't think they're not considering it. I guarantee you they're considering it because of the fan.
Well, he appeared on the Flash CW show. Ezra did.
Yeah, and he's going to be in the new film too. But that he's not the right person to take on the mantle for a cinema.
No, I agree.
Version. He's not cinematic enough. And this is what Keith was trying to say. And you go ahead, buddy. Say it.
Well, no. Plus, there's a lot of other things connected to Ezra Miller's casting. That if you hire Grant Gustin, you're going to have to basically fire the young lady who's going to be his version of Iris, and adjust everything to the fact that Grant Gustin, I think, is maybe a year or two older than Ezra Miller.
But Flashpoint is the perfect story to do that. They could make.
Well, you're creating the kind of confusion that should not be a part of what you're trying to do. I get what you're saying, Dork. I get what you're saying. It's the fact that I think even Grant Gustin himself is related that he's getting kind of tired of doing the whole Flash thing.
I get it, man. But
last year he said he was done with Flash.
Why even dump a whole lot of money at an actor who's basically done?
No, they say that because it's a negotiation thing. They want the money.
Well,
why not? Like Star Trek
ought to be the end of it. I mean, end of the Snyderverse and just move on.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring Cavill back. Which I
from
think
that
is a
point
huge
forward,
mistake.
once Snyder finishes, you have elements. If you want to carry him over, you can carry him over.
Yeah.
But the fact is, Zach needs to finish what he started out, because I know you know who Mikey Sutton is, and Mikey Sutton is a close friend of Keith and mine, and he and I absolutely agree on this, that I'm not that big a fan of Snyderverse.
Me either.
I don't like how he handled
the Snyder
Superman.
cut. I did. I mean, I took the Snyder cut in bites.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. I did not care for Man of Steel. He
doesn't understand Superman.
It's just too dark. Yeah, it was just too dark. It was disaster porn. But that's what Zach leans into. It's all slow motion stuff and just really dark and gritty stuff. I don't get into it, but I got to be honest with you. I'll confess something. I'm currently doing a Netflix style binge 10-episode version of Snyder's. It starts with Man of Steel and it ends with the Snyder cut, and it's all of it. It's Batman v Superman, and it's all little 50-minute episodes.
Are you doing the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman?
That is a.
And I'm including a little bit of Whedon stuff because I really kind of like at the end of the credits, it's the race, Superman and Wally. I'm not Wally, but Barry at the end, just because I thought that was a nice moment, and that was fan service. And Joss Whedon, as much of a tool as he is, he understood fan service. And somebody should do a documentary on how Justice League just went so sideways. But really, it would be an indictment of how DC can't be counted on to really do their movies right. I got to say, I liked Aquaman, but I think the best film that DC has done yet is probably Wonder Woman. In my mind, Wonder Woman, when she got up on that field of battle and they were blazing the bullets at her, and I took my daughter to that too. Guys, I got a tear in my eye thinking, oh my gosh, this is as good as 1978 Superman as far as really nailing everything for the quality of the effects that you have.
And then they ruined it with Wonder Woman 84.
Well, you know what I mean? and the thing about
was a disaster.
It was.
The thing about Wonder Woman was this is one of those issues where when you have the right kind of people in place, when you have someone like Zack Snyder who was a producer on Wonder Woman and was able to help with little things off to the side, and both films were able to use the same stunt coordinators and everything, how you get an echo of that first fight in the bell tower and how it's an echo of Wonder Woman's fight against the terrorist in Zack Snyder's Justice League,
which was also a great scene.
Oh wow! I mean,
I got to tell you, Chris,
the ending of Wonder Woman was pretty, vanilla. It's pretty regular. It's not imaginative at all.
That's Jeff Johns.
Yeah, I just think that Zack.
I fucking
honestly,
hate Jeff Johns.
Yeah, I think that Zack Snyder should just be art director, and maybe an assistant director to do certain scenes. But as far as his full vision, Zack's got a darkness to him, and really doesn't understand the characters very much, and wants to play with
Wonder Woman.
Well, he doesn't.
Someone's
He
freaking
understands
head
the
off
dark
in
characters
the Snyder cut.
And you got to understand something about Superman. There's only been one film director that understood it, and he said it. He told people, you can't do Richard Donner. You can't do Superman unless he's a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And if you try to make him anything else, it won't work.
Yeah. I enjoyed the remake with Ralph, not remake, sequel, whatever. But he should have recognized, hey,
Brandon,
you don't want to make you don't want to make Superman a stalker. That was cringy. So somebody should have said, hey, don't do that. We got to change this. But movies are massive things that you're making. And from my small position as a video producer in the South, there's so much that's going into it that it's really hard to stop a train once that train's going. And then you try to fix things in post. And, an editor can save a movie. George Lucas's wife did that to Star Wars. But you've got to have enough material out there. And it's very difficult. So I respect these people, even when they make movies, as long as we can critique them. I will say this. One of what I think the best film Superman scenes of all time was Bryan Singer's scene where that airplane almost crashed into
Oh my God, we just
field.
Talked about this yesterday.
Dude, that
just
was
talked about it.
Awesome. But hey, it's not the first time. It's not the first time Superman's grabbed a plane out of it. He did it in Superman 1978, right?
My weird thing with that movie is I loved it so much, but I didn't understand why they didn't get, if it was supposed to be Superman 5, basically. Yeah. And he's doing a Christopher Reeves impersonation, and he did basically. Why the hell didn't they use Gene Hackman?
I know. Wow, what
that bothered
me.
Well, Gene was retired.
He was retired by then.
But still, he could have done it. I mean,
you're right.
Have done it. He would never come back. He's done with
Plus, he's older. I mean, again, this was meant to be a sequel, or at least in line with all those other movies. If you have a really, really old Lex in there, it kind of really breaks the illusion.
What was the guy's name that played Luthor's nephew, though? In
John Cryer. He becomes Luthor.
They could have gotten John Cryer to play Lex Luthor. That would have been better than Snyder's pick for Lex Luthor.
He's actually bald now, so
No, he was Lex Luthor in Supergirl. Did you not see that?
No.
John Cryer is Lex Luthor in the Supergirl series.
Are you sure?
100%, bro.
Okay, I haven't watched that since it came out the theater. So,
and he's probably my favorite.
No offense, Helen Slater.
It was the multiverse thing. He became Lex in there.
Yeah, he was my favorite on-screen Lex Luthor.
Well, they should have done that for the Snyderverse or something.
Yeah, not just yet.
We wanted a good Lex Luthor.
You're not a John Cryer fan, I guess.
I don't care for people who can be a little bit of bitch sometimes. So
Separate the art from the artist, man. I'm just talking about the performance. Like,
okay,
he was
talking
great
about
as
the
Lex
performance.
Are you
His Lex Luthor is probably my fifth favorite
dandy?
out of all the ones cast.
Oh,
Is he a
wow.
dandy?
Hey, Fat Steven, put that image back up. Of
I'm on the
judging
opposite
Keith.
end of that spectrum, brother.
Uh-oh.
Put it back up there because I fucking love this image. Keith actually froze during a show, and Fat Steven took a snapshot of it.
We want the judgmental.
We
Keith
use it
Keith.
every once in a while. Put
Is
it
that
back up,
Keith
dude.
in the center square?
Do it now, Steven.
Steven,
now.
do it. Do it.
Do it
Damn you,
now.
rush you.
Do it. Do it.
There it is. Hold on,
Guys,
here we
know the
go.
word, please. God damn it! Just say
This
please.
is Fat. This is Keith judging you for liking him. John
I
Cryer.
do feel the judgment from this visage. Yes.
He was actually having a Taco
That's
Bell moment.
judgmental,
That's why he
Keith.
was leaning off.
And that is the Ohio. I forget what that is. In
Cincinnati train
Cincinnati.
station.
It's what was used for Justice League.
Looks
Oh,
like
the Hall of Justice. It was the basis of the Hall of Justice in the Super Friends cartoon because by 1973, Hanna-Barbera had been bought by a company in Cincinnati and they moved their base there. And so when they were creating that show, the guy who was one of the art directors for the show decided to base the Hall of Justice on the look of that train station. So you can go visit the Hall of
That's right.
Justice.
That is fast. Guys, I can't believe this content is free. That you guys, this is incredible. Listen, guys, I've had a great time. I really do have to bolt.
It was great meeting you, Chris. Thank you.
Well, thanks. That's
letting me
very
ask you
kind of you. And maybe I can pop up again on a Saturday.
Well,
or
that's what I
Friday
wanted
show.
to say is, I'd like to have you on, and especially if you got like a recent article you want to bring
Yeah,
up.
sure. Yeah, something
I'd
to
love to have
promote,
that.
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I told you you'd have a good time. You had a good time, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did. It's just still the middle of the work day for me. I got to get back to work.
All right, brother.
Nice
Thanks for
meeting you.
joining us.
Guys,
It's
I
really good
appreciate it.
talking
Nice
to you.
meeting every
And
one
I
of
will
you.
talk to you privately about other stuff.
Thanks. Hey, it was a treat.
Cheers,
All right.
mate.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
So long.
Coke and
Gary,
Tuck.
that was awesome, man. I'm glad I was
Great.
able to be here for that. Like, thank you.
And Flaccid, thanks for coming back
Gentlemen,
on the show,
I'm
even though you've
afraid
been
I'm gonna
dead
have to,
quiet. What?
I'm afraid
What?
I'm going to have to jet too. I'm up against a hard out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no
So,
problem, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
How's
did
the new
tell us
job?
that. He's got
How's the
7
new
minutes.
job?
Sorry for work. All right.
How's the new job?
Take care, everybody.
How's the new
Oh,
job?
it's actually going pretty well. It's
You
going
like
pretty
it?
well. They're already. Yeah, I do. I do very much so.
Fantastic.
Um,
Well, I'm
Great.
glad, man. I'll catch you later, buddy. Remember, we're doing a show tomorrow. If you're not too busy with your show, pop on in, man.
Will do.
All right, buddy. See you later.
Peace
Take
out.
care.
Okay, so now I want to go ahead and pop this back up there again. This is what Dork Knight sent from, I don't know this magazine. Are they legit?
I don't know. That's why I didn't know you were going to share it. I was like, hey.
Well, I
look at
figured
that.
that's why you shared it with me. So
I was sharing it
on
like
the screen.
I needed a fact checking. So, chat room, like fact check this for.
Yeah, I
us.
saw the quartering reported on this like a couple days
it
ago. I
looks
think.
like parody to me.
No, I
Yeah.
think it might be real. Also, the Academy, I just got a news alert that they banned Will Smith from coming to the
Yeah,
Academy
we knew about
Awards for
that.
10 years.
Yeah, for 10
Marca,
years.
ASUSA, Your Tango, they're all reporting this. Supposedly, the buzz is iHeart is checking on it. It's also on Reddit.
You're talking about
A
this
whole bunch
luxury rehab thing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, why do you got to go to rehab for smacking someone? You know what he needs
It's for
rehab
publicity
Being
reasons. It's not
Angry.
for
for
anything
being
else.
a cuck. He needs to get rid of Jada Pinkett Smith. Like that's the only thing that's going to save his career right now. It's just
Well-
like, because he was laughing at the joke. She looked okay. Because I used to think this was fake. Now that all this shit's happening, I don't think it is anymore. Because they would have come out and been like, "Hey, yo, this was just a publicity thing." But now that he's getting all these, like, he's losing money.
You don't get to
He's
jump
losing-
on the train with us. That train left the station. You're still at the station.
Whatever. I'm just saying. So I think no, but like now, what's convinced me is because his wife is a narcissistic, manipulative.
She's got something wrong with her.
Horrible
I'm not
human.
going to,
You know.
I won't say anything about her. I just think that
Well, I
it's
just did.
clear from some of the things that happened. And I watched that entire interview with them, and that is an abusive relation. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's physical. I think it's all emotional and psychological abuse.
Yeah, no,
And
she's a master manipulator, I think.
I'm more
I don't
concerned
know.
like when the break happened with Will Smith. If you can like look in his like interviews throughout time, like where he like made the like, oh no, there's like You can see him
He
starting
was
to turn, because
broken. When you watch that interview, Flaccid, he's broken in that interview.
I'm saying like from like, you know, back in the day, from like Fresh Prince to now. When do you think there's like a real dark turn that happened in his career?
I
don't know.
I think it happened when he started planning Jada Pinkett Smith her 40th birthday party when she was only 37.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a really horrifying read if you haven't read it. But Keith, you were about to say something.
No, I was just saying, I think it happened around the time that he was working on Men in Black 3. I think that's when it happened.
Okay.
What year was that?
That
What
tracks.
year was
that tracks.
Oh, jeez.
I'm
so delayed.
3. Hold on, I'm just looking up real quick. Because I want to get an exact year. That was 2012.
Yeah.
2012.
Thank you. Is that it?
There's stuff about him coming out about his autobiography too. There's like a weird moment he had with his like grandma and his wife, I think. Did you hear about the story that he, like, while she was what's called she was there waiting for her to come home, and he timed up this movie that she had a sex scene in, so then right when she walked in, this scene would be happening. It's a true story. It's in his autobiography. It's really weird. It's like, I don't know what's up.
The timing of Men in 3 tracks. So if you look at Jada Pinkett Smith's
that's a freaky
age
thing to do.
And that, and in the whole 40th birthday thing that we were just talking about, that's right before she turned. That's about a year before she turned 40.
I don't want to say that, you know, Will Smith is a saint or anything like that, because I don't reckon that he is. But the fact that we now have Jada throwing him under the bus, you know, like, I need no protection.
Oh, yeah.
He overreacts and all that. I think that, you know, it all adds up to his situation. And if he checked into a rehab center to combat the PTSD that they said that he has or something, I mean, and then you listen to this news, right? Like Jada doing something to him. It goes hand in hand, you know. It doesn't sound that far from the mark that he has to go and rehabilitate somehow because of this abusive relationship.
Yeah, but I just hope if it's real. Or go ahead. Sorry.
Can I be heard now or no?
Yeah,
I can hear you, mate.
But you're talking real quietly. I mean,
I'm not talking quietly.
Now you're talking normal.
No,
but when you said that before, you were talking quieter.
I didn't want to jump over someone.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question. The thing is, maybe if he is going to rehab, it's probably for one thing, not because of the slap, because he needs someone to talk to in confidentiality. That's a therapist to go about how he's actually feeling and why he's at this point.
Exactly.
We all reach a point of the breaks, and I think
hope
he's at the breaks.
I hope that if this isn't just a PR thing and this is real, that therapist is gonna make it painfully obvious to him that, you know, his wife is toxic and bad for him. Like, because, like, from an outsider's point of view looking in, I guess I'm the only one with the balls to say it. I that's what I believe. I believe Jada Pinkett Smith is the worst thing to ever happen to Will Smith. So
I can't say it because I don't know the relationship that well. But I've been in an abusive relationship where my ex was very emotionally abusive for 6 years.
And you know, abusive people aren't necessarily bad people, because they're often just messed up themselves.
I didn't say she was bad. I just said she was doing all this stuff because it's probably
general.
Happened to her, and that's usually that's how this goes.
Usually how abuse gets transferred. It's exactly
There's a whole other layer of that, like that cuck thing going on with him too. You know, so there's all these layers of potentially him being manipulated and psychological damage that's happening to him in this relationship too. And it's not like a clean break either. I mean, this is the mother of his children. So it's
there was an article I just read about the boyfriend has like being interviewed now and talking about this shit.
The 17-year-old?
Why anybody is talking to that fucking guy? Is he 17?
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
He wrote two songs.
Wait.
Not 17.
Sorry.
He's not 17.
Yeah.
He's also written 2 songs about her.
Why he's even part of the subject, I don't know.
I mean,
that's just
who was the comedian that said? Who was the
records.
comedian that said? I can't remember if it was Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock, but he was like, "Do you know how famous you have to be to like fuck somebody and then they're famous just for fucking you?" Who was that? He was talking about Bill Clinton. He was talking about the only reason Monica Lewinsky was famous was because she fucked Bill Clinton. He's like, can you imagine how? Who was that? Do you remember? Like, it was either.
I don't remember. I thought it was originally about Kim Kardashian, but hey,
It might have been Dave
that
Chappelle. That sounds familiar.
And
Yeah.
he was 27 in 2020 when he had the affair with Jada, and that was August. And her son was 22 at the time. Jada.
Hey, man, I can't say anything about that because before I met the love of my life and my beautiful fiancée, Cece, that you all have met, I skewed. My rule's always been, even though I'm in my 40s, as long as they're old enough to rent a car, which is 25. As long as they're old enough to rent a car.
That's better than Gary's rule.
I don't feel bad about it.
Don't even get started on mine.
Oh, what's yours? If they're old enough to crawl, they're in the right position, you perv.
I gotta tell you, I damn near punched a guy at a convention I was at when he said right in front of me, and my daughter was there with me. He says, "Old enough to bleed, old enough to breed," and it's like, man, fuck off with that shit.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Because my daughter got hers at like 12, so fuck you. I'll kill you.
But isn't that true, Gary? I thought you're a medical expert. Is that what that means? I'm putting you on the spot here.
Shut up, Phoenix. Shut up. Hey, I'm trying to find that link, Keith, for the Batman thing that you sent me. Sean Young.
With Sean Young, yeah.
You
I
sent
got it
that
right
article,
here.
and I can't find it in any of your things. And
I was reading it earlier.
And
it's
I
in the
lost
private
it.
chat.
Oh,
in the private
yeah, that's
chat.
where it is.
All right,
yeah.
Excellent.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
All right. Oh, is that what? No, that's Dinner Geek. Is that it?
Yeah. That's
the one. Because we wanted to talk about this before we wrap this show up, because it's really one of the subjects. I didn't want to do it with our guest on. I got to turn off my ad blocker. Sorry, internet website.
Guardian one day ago just said something about rehab clinic as well.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Boom.
Comedy Wire.
Yeah, we need Keith.
Yeah, go back.
Oh, wait, what did Six say? As long as all involved parties are aware of what is going on, I don't care about the open. Well, I don't either. I would never be involved with an open marriage myself. Look, man, it's hard enough dealing with one woman.
Yeah, agreed.
It really is. Shane Moore, because you know Shane. Shane's got an open marriage with Tracy, and it's a known fact. I'm not breaking some sort of story here. We talk about it quite frequently. And I'm like, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man, but that would drive me up a fucking wall. I absolutely could not fucking take it. How a Batman 1989 deleted scene cost Sean Young the co-starring role. And you know, a lot of people, I wasn't even aware until Keith shared this article with me that Sean Young was the original Vicky Vale.
Yes.
I didn't know that. And it's so interesting when you see, you know, because they had a whole scene, because I went back and it is in the book. It is in the book because it was the original script.
Yeah, and it was setting up the final act because the horse was going to be necessary in the way they originally had the final act. So having Vicky and Bruce ride horses at Wayne Manor was to help set that up and to show that she was a better rider than he was, and you know, other things. But I mean, and again, all that went to the wayside.
So it would have been a totally different film without Kim Basinger. We would have had Sean Young as Vicky Vale. She was a smokier, darker haired character.
Yeah.
She's where, you know, Kim Basinger is sexy. There's something about dark and mysterious
and
about
blonde.
Sean Young.
I mean, all that darkness and blonde hair versus, you know, there is a reason why they casted her originally, and she did get hurt, and they wanted to move on.
She fell off the horse, right?
Yes, she fell off the horse.
Because she did not know how. Because it was, from what I saw, was they weren't shooting the scene. She was in the middle of training.
Yes,
on the horse when she fell, and she was trying to be cool and say, "Hey, look, instead of making you wait, go ahead and recast the role, and you'll just owe me one." Is really what it came down to. And so when the second movie's coming out, she called on that debt. And what ended up happening was her career was ruined.
Yeah.
Her career ended with the whole Batman debacle with her being in the Catwoman suit.
To be fair, she has continued to work. She has worked steadily since 1980.
Her career went down.
But her career, as far as being in the spotlight, being someone that you can cast in a movie that opens big and that ended. And again, her whole thing about appearing on about getting dressed up as Catwoman and going on the David Letterman show was to really put forth the fact that
and I remember that shit.
was to basically,
I was in the Army, and that was one of the few things we got to watch.
was to basically put it out there. It's like, hey, you guys do owe me. You know, I think she was at least expecting, to at least audition, and they never even called her for that. My whole thing was, at the very least, you could have at least, if not cast her as Catwoman, had her play another role in the film, and it would have taken care of a lot of this. And they couldn't even do that. So, my whole point was just originally about bringing that up with Gary was to talk about how novels and adaptations for movies can sometimes be better than the actual film.
I'm friends with Donald F. Glutt, and that was one of the things we brought up when we were talking to him online, that so many changes were made from the script that he got when he wrote The Empire Strikes Back as a novel that are in the book but weren't anything like that in the film.
That's right.
Including the color of the lightsaber was changed, Luke's lightsaber. But I want to bring this image up too, because this is when things really started going south for her.
Yeah,
Sean Young. The incident between her and James Wood when they're making that cocaine movie, I forget the name of it, but she is notorious for having affairs with her leading men. We knew about it with Blade Runner. There's even rumors about her and Rutger, but I've never seen a confirmation. And I knew Rutger, and he never said anything about it to confirm it. But we knew about Harrison Ford, and that's when the dynamic of their relationship on the film set changed because of it. And he felt she was needy and clingy, and so he became an asshole to her on the set, get her to stop it. And of course, she had a bad experience because of that, and and he roughed her up in the scene where he grabbed her and threw her on the windowsill. He did it overly rough. And I think it's because, he felt like punishing her. And I've kind of felt sorry for her. I mean, look, mental illness sucks. And I've talked to this lady personally. I've talked to Sean. She called me at work and freaked my boss out. But I'm like, I'm the founder of the Blade Runner fan club. I'm going to get calls like this every once in a while. And called me. Don't know what she called me for, but I know what we talked about. We talked about growing up in Catholic schools and talking about her interest in aura photography. And that was it. I have no idea why she called me.
Hey, I hate to. The reason I was gone, because I actually gotta get dipping out. The reason I was gone for a second is I got great news. The neurosurgeon that I wanted for my neck surgery is approved by my insurance. And
that's good news, man.
Yeah, he's the number one. Dr. Derek Duke, give him a shout out. He's the number one spinal surgeon in Nevada. So that was great news. But I got to dip out, guys. This has been fun. I did want to talk about this Sean Young thing, but
don't worry about it, man. Go do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
All right.
But we'll keep
thank
going.
you so much for having me on.
You bet, buddy.
And
cheers.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Chris was awesome. Yeah, I'll see you
if you can fit in.
Yeah, I'll try, man.
All right, buddy.
All right.
I'll see you later.
All right, bye.
So I want to thank Pat S for $1.99. Open marriage, no. Open face sandwich, yes, please. I always have trouble with open face sandwiches. Like, how am I supposed to eat this? Do I need to fold it like a taco? I don't know. They confuse.
Do you think she got? Do you think she got flown off that horse because she was having a relationship with it on set too?
That's possible. It's always possible.
I'm trying to
And
connect
she
some dots
really
here.
is. By the way, I want to point out, even when our private phone call, really just a sweetheart. She really is.
Yeah.
She's just so gentle as a person. But it sucks that she has this this daddy thing. I think that's really what it comes down to. She's looking for a daddy figure type guy. And so when she goes in, she's always looking for approval, and she gets really close to the leading man because he's sort of a father figure. In every film, your leading man is like a father figure. And she fell into those trappings. And I'm not sure, what issues she has. She's flighty, but she's also really sweet and very nice. And she's a damn good actress.
Yeah, she is.
And I've seen a lot shittier fucking people get better roles than she's gotten in the last 30 years. And so what they did to her, I think, is wrong. And Tim Burton played a part in it, in my opinion, by not giving her a role, because really he owed her, and he paid her back by helping blacklist her.
Damn.
Yep.
I didn't know that she had been blacklisted, I just thought that she had just
She was
faded a bit,
There's not an actual list like that. What it is people shun people when they see that they're too crazy. We're not gonna deal with them. Look at the problems she caused. Jim Carrey's career took a hit because of what happened on Kick-Ass too.
Oh yeah.
Studios are like, if he would do that to them, what's going to prevent him from doing it to us? And of course, he took a hiatus, took some roles here and there to keep working. But the fact is he wasn't getting the roles that he probably deserved. And at one point, he was one of the highest paid actors.
When you can have a performance like he had with, say, The Truman Show or even Man on the Moon, where you're getting Oscar buzz, and then to end up where he ended up, that's different, man.
Saying Sonic 2 is a bad spot.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Mr. Tickle Trunk, he had a $2 Canadian. Thank you, sir. Open face sandwich is bullshit. It's on bread, not in. So for both you guys, Pat S. and Mr. Tickle Trunk, I'm going to play this one.
You're reading a magazine. You come across a full-page nude photo of a girl.
Is this testing whether I'm a replicant or a lesbian, Mr. Deckard?
There you go. Now you were saying.
I forget. Well, I was saying.
You're saying.
I expect that from Danny.
From grace.
But thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and thank you, Pat, for the. Well, basically both at $2. One's $1.99. I mean, really, you cheap son of a bitch. You couldn't do two. Love you, Pat. I love both those guys. We got some chat here. Let's do this real quick. Culture trying to make me cry with. Oh, and that reminds me, Culture was supposed to be here today, and I don't know what happened. He was talking about being on here today. Martin Acosta Santana, Sean Young, my eternal celebrity crush. Amen. Sean Young went to the Joan Rivers show dressed as Catwoman, trying to be. I remember that. It's crazy.
I always thought that was what actually killed somehow her career. That she was.
No, it's what happened when she talked to the producers that were doing the interview with her, and that was what did it. And that only added to it, because then they started doing that "she's crazy" thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where Tim Burton betrayed her. Is he didn't stand up and defend her when he should have.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes, in my opinion, Tim Burton a shitheel.
Yeah,
I've fallen off horses dozens of times, and they weren't yours. Odd, right? Sean Young went to the Joan River. Yeah. We just talked about that. Socks. Hi, lovely Sherry. How are you? Let's see. I'm gonna let Kyle stick to this. We're behind on some of this though, buddy. Got another $2 from. No, that's
private chat,
what
Gary.
Oh, private chat.
Oh, there you are.
Well,
no, I didn't get it. Would you pop that on for me after this one? Mr. Tickle Truck, another Canadian $2, an open face sandwich is pizza. Don't at me.
Uh-oh.
Get the other one. There you go. Thank you, Kyle. Storyman Jack, if anyone ever made any of my stories into a movie, I'd be on a set and I'd be an asshat. Might actually happen someday too. Well, I got to tell you, I used to know Ron Shusett, and he was partners with Dan O'Bannon, writing Alien, Total Recall together. And I've got one funny story that Ron Shusett told me about Dan, because Dan's wife and he separated, and so Dan was staying in the basement of the furnished basement at Ron Shusett's house, and his wife was freaking out because she would wash dishes at night and then get up in the morning and they'd be fresh, new, dirty dishes already in the sink. And it took her like 3 or 4 days to figure out that it was Dan O'Bannon staying up all night writing and eating during the night. But it was freaking her out. They thought they had like a troll or something in the house, leaving the dishes. But Shusett, it got so bad with Shusett that he was removed from the set twice on 2 different projects. First one being Total Recall, and the second one was Free Jack. And each time actors in the films would defend him, and even there was a shirt that some of them wore, and I think that was it. That might have been Free Jack. I'm not sure if it was Total Recall or Free Jack. I have to go back because it's been a long time since I read it. But they put on shirts supporting Ron Shusett being allowed on the set, and went against the executive producer of the film. So very good. Thank you, Storyman Jack. Let me find something for you. I'm sure I got something new here that you might enjoy. Let's see.
I'd buy that for $1.
$5 too. Thank you, Storyman Jack, for the $5. And I think that writers have great difficulty on movie sets because if it's their property or their material, a lot of times, unless it's like a hire job where you're just brought in to write a story and that's it. But when it's your creation and you start seeing a fuckery going on a movie set, absolutely, it's been going on since the very onset of Hollywood. Writers getting pissed and getting kicked off the set.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised because you're kind of a dick, Storyman Jack. No. I like Storyman Jack. He's a cool dude. But I bet he's a dick, like me. Most of us veterans are.
Scary thinking about dicks all the time.
Yep, dicks.
I'm surrounded by a bunch of them right now.
Yeah, the only one that actually has a fucking representation of a penis is flaccid. But I'm glad you came on the show, man. I've been missing you.
I've been really busy.
Nobody misses Flaccid Phoenix. It's never happened.
Oh, it's not true. I enjoy him. He's funny. I like watching his show with his partner because the banter between those two is a lot of fun. I just those two really. It reminds me of Red Letter Media. Really, the way they banter back and forth, it really does. And that's one of my favorite things about that show, Red Letter Media, is the way they banter. Mm-hmm. So looks like we got more private chat. Let me check that real quick. Oh, Viking has to go in 5. When did you write that? 49. What time is it now? Oh, so in 3 minutes. Okay. But Viking, I want to thank you for being on the show, buddy. I appreciate you being here. And all you guys, I really do. I love our panels because it makes the show more fun for Keith and I.
What's a pleasure,
I'm just here to please you.
Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that, Flaccid. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, everyone on the set wants to make changes to the movie. Actors want to change lines because they don't feel right. Director wants changes. Your film gets edited like crazy so the story can change. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Again, you are always going to have disagreements on a set, and it can range from being slight disagreements to just major out and out fights on a set. Like, I don't know, let me pick a film like the Hellboy reboot or Josh Trank's Fantastic Four. You're always going to have problems, but you got to conduct yourself better, And again, as R&B likes to say, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So when you're negotiating how you're going to work on a movie, make sure you get it in writing so that it's there and it's solid and you can move forward. Because if it isn't in writing, then they're probably not going to give it to you. You know.
And it reminds me to what happened to Apocalypse Now, for example, and many people know about that situation.
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, it was hell, you know. And it is all due to the fact that sometimes people do not know how to work professionally. You know, some people do not act professionally. And I don't have any doubts about how sweet Sean Young can be. And I really like her, and she's a great actress, and she looks like a beautiful woman. But having those well-known, publicized crushes on her counterparts, it's not really that professional, you know. And just think of what would have happened with the tempestuous nature that Michael Keaton has, you know, and had back then when he was hired for the Batman. I mean, when he was the Batman, he was dating Michelle Pfeiffer, and he didn't want her to be there on set because he knew how he would be if they would work together. And it wasn't until they broke up that she was cast as Catwoman, you know. So, I mean, it could have been just hellish as well.
And he highly recommended her for the role. Because even though they broke up, it was a friendly breakup.
Yeah, that is true. But
nothing like kissing your ex in a movie and getting paid for it, you know. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to at least hand it to him. I mean, if he made the suggestion, it's like, yeah, hire Michelle Pfeiffer. And then, you know.
I banged her on screen and off.
do you think the first of the job, you know?
Do you think the fact that it made so much money that gave them room for the sequel to hire Michelle Pfeiffer instead as an upgrade too?
Well,
you know what? What I heard about the making of Batman, and it was also talked about, I think, in that article that I had posted, is that while Sean Young was let go, and they hired Kim Basinger didn't seem like she was that well liked, and that the only reason why she got the job is that John Peters had recommended her, you know, the hairdresser. So he had a thing for her, and that's the reason why she got the part. Oh. You know, not to say that she's not talented. Kim Basinger is a beautiful woman, still is, very talented woman, but her name only popped up in regards to that particular film because John Peters had something for her.
It worked.
That's why you're here, Zach, because Gary loves you. So you should.
Yeah, and nothing in the world can pop you up, Flaccid Phoenix. So
yeah, nothing. You can try.
Not even a bluebird can get that Phoenix up.
No,
it stayed. It's like the reverse of. No, never mind.
It was a Viagra joke, though.
Oh man!
I think we lost Gary.
No,
he's listening.
I'm listening.
No, Dorknut just messaged him trying to find where his feet was.
Okay, lads. Well, I just wanted to mention that I mentioned in my intervention because I gotta go. But it's been a pleasure as always. It's been nice meeting Chris and always chatting with you, lads. Is an incredible blast at the end of the week. So, thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Viking.
You bet, buddy. I'll see you next time, okay?
All right, lads. Cheers.
Later, Viking.
See you, man.
Later, lads.
Bye, sweetest guy.
What I think I'm going to do is, for fun with Viking, next time is post fake subtitles using the banners.
Gary, what you need to do is have an overlay that's a GIF, but it's transparent.
Oh, there's a good idea right there. Yeah, I'll do the GIF overlay.
Use Kung Fu movie stuff that's already has the translations, but have it underneath so the transparent of us are still there. So every time he starts talking.
That's a really good idea.
It'll be fun to prank him on that.
You don't think I really thought about this?
I love that idea.
That's great.
Pat Steven Seagal. Yeah.
Like as he's speaking, I'll just keep posting different.
Wait.
Images.
I wanted to bring this up to you guys. You guys have all seen Dick Tracy, right?
Yeah.
Remember Dick Tracy, the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I came to the conclusion a couple of days ago that Mumbles is secretly Joe Biden.
Okay.
That's it. Think about it.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
Yeah, you ruined my joke again. I thought it was good. Jackasses does all.
I've never seen Dick Tracy.
When you said
You
Dick
haven't
Tracy,
seen
all I could think of was that Madonna video now.
I'm just kidding. I'm just being a dick right now.
Horrific.
All I was thinking about is that Al Pacino nose he has in that movie.
What about Flat Top? He looks like he got hit by an anvil and his head just got. He's the original Stewie Griffin.
He really was.
I'm sorry. I wanted to have my rage for a moment, and all I can come up with was that shitty joke.
Hey, what did you guys think of Chris today? Having him on today.
He's great.
He's good. He was very, very good.
Very good.
I want to bring him on this previously in Idiocy. I want to do that.
Very problematic look though.
True.
The bald head, Trump
And the
supporter,
double
Southern
earrings.
accent.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Too many
next time it
dots.
comes on. You need to start playing the theme music to the Mr. Clean commercials.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he does
Oh,
that one,
my
too.
God.
Gary's already loving it. Look, he's smart. He's already like, I'm
Yeah.
already there.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm in. I'm sorry, I got a message from YouTube, so I'm going over there. Again, I've got another claim against that song. It's public domain video of Nosferatu and my music, and I'm getting two. I have two claims against that video.
There's always a jerk. Yeah, I'm still fighting the claim that Sony is trying to claim the music from Warner Brothers Superman. They're idiots over there. Wait till Bungie hits them.
Yeah, this is going to be an ugly one that is going to make them stop this shit. These claims.
Yep. Mm-hmm. $150K per DMCA.
You know.
Your porn bot showed up all of a sudden.
Yep.
Oh, hell
You
yeah,
got
I
porn
love
bot?
this guy.
They're trying to help Flaccid Phoenix.
I know. I appreciate the effort.
Does that
That's
mean
what I tell my wife.
Is that why you're always in distress? Because the floppy Phoenix? Or is it just because you haven't rotated another version just in case?
Floppy Phoenix,
Yeah,
Floppy Phoenix.
I want to get one that's animated. Or me and Zach talked about it'd be funny if you just slowly change your icon over time throughout the stream.
To get it
And then
more
someone's
erect.
like, yeah.
Yes,
Someone's like,
exactly.
what's going on? Or it's like shriveling up, it's like turtle heading. And you're just like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, nothing. I don't know what you guys talking about.
You have to do it so people don't notice that you're doing it.
Yeah, it's slightly over time.
Like sweatpants.
Just like that.
Oh, did
This
you guys
show
know?
has been brought to you by Idiocy, a new show by Fat Steven Seagal.
Wow, thanks for that sarcasm. That was great. I was trying to do a Dork Knight advert, and I fucked up that too.
We're at the end of this thing. I'm pretty much done.
Good.
I don't know about you guys. It's been a great show.
We're just getting started.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go.
I am not. I'm old. We talked about that. We had
Alzheimer's.
our guest on, and now I want to just start pops up for nonsensical reasons. I'm getting punchy, motherfucker.
Not non sequitur. The series, yes. I can go a couple seasons.
I want to give a shout out to our friends at Andre and Tom at Midnight's Edge, who are going to be joining us when we do our 80s series over again. Andre will be working with us on 1982, and Tom will be joining us for 1984 because it was his favorite year for movies. And I'm looking forward to any of you guys that want to be our co-host for each year. It'll be 1980 through 1989. So 82 and 84 are taken, but a lot of years still open. If you want to join us, let me know. But past that, this show's over. I'm done. Stick a fork in me. No, don't do it.
Put it in the back door.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank what an amazing panel today. Even though we're down to just 5 of us now, the rest died. We ate them. They were delicious. We did like what's his name, Army Hammer. He has some interesting ideas of eating people. So
you're saying like Army Hammer has a lot of good ideas.
A lot of good ideas when it comes to eating people. He really does. I want to thank you guys for coming onto the show. Keith, thank you for being my partner in crime, and also you, Fat Steven, for being my other partner in crime. Zach's for being the guy behind the show that also is in front of the show sometimes Like
Star
right
of the show.
Yeah, you're the star. This is the Zach show. We all know it. And Flaccid, thanks for showing up, man. It's good to see you.
Good to be back.
I want to thank Chris for being here from Bleeding Fool. Great site. If you don't read them, go read them. Really good website. I want to thank everybody in the chat, and thanks for all the stickers / super chats. Oh, and yeah, we got to go. Keith's got to eat now, and that gets so gross and loud.
Get that back closer to the mic,
Jada's a
please.
monster. have you guys seen the new clip of Jada filming Will, and Will's telling her to stop?
I saw that.
It's up there right now. Holy, Dork has feelings. She's
what?
Let me find it.
You share.
Do we have to go like rescue Will Smith now?
That's actually the name of the thing. We need to rescue this man. That's literally the name of this
Nick
video.
Cage. Rescue
Nick
Will
Cage.
Smith.
No.
Yes.
Nick
But
Cage,
no,
Will
right
Smith.
I'm trying.
Okay. I'm into that.
What I'm trying to add to this quickly, I know I'm not trying to sound like a dick, and I probably am, is that this actually holds weight to maybe why he went to that rehab. He wants to get away.
Well, that's what I was thinking
Here we go.
earlier. Is that's his one way to escape.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, well, you know, Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No, because she don't just.
Would you say
He just gotta
that
stop crying.
she
Look
helped
at that.
us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter. Okay. So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell? So Will,
This is horrific.
This is abuse. This is her showing her dominance over him. Look, he just got finished crying or something. Look at his eyes. Look at his face. It's puffy. He just had an emotional moment, and he is literally. She's filming it. She has no respect for this man.
Seriously, if this were reverse, if this were a man doing this to,
I would know.
Oh, everybody be all over it. I know.
No, I would still see if Will was filming Jada, it was reversed. Keith, I still find it wrong.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, for those people that do not find anything wrong with this, that needs to be a way that you think about it. I know, Steven, that you think it's wrong. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and I agree with you.
She's angry. He's upset. You can see the upset in him, and she's just like, "Why are you upset? Why are you emotional?" Like, no soul. That is no soul. That means you don't care about.
Well, when you dismiss somebody else's feelings and just keep at them, that is a serious problem.
She's a narcissist.
Well,
here we go.
Again, whatever.
Danzig asked a question here, Keith.
Yes, I do, because I like reading it.
You want to show it?
Here, see, previews.
There you go. Previews. There
you go. You know what? I am a child of the 70s, which means that the JCPenney's catalog, especially the Christmas edition, was always one of my favorites. And previews is kind of like my JCPenney's December catalog every month.
Any good thing good in there? I've been very iffy.
You know what? There are a few things, but nothing that screams out, you gotta have this,
Can you do that again? Because Keith, Gary, you need to clip that. You gotta have this with a little head bobble. No, their comics for free comic book they've been sucking lately. No, that's the problem.
You gotta have this, yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
You
No,
want
I
it. You want
No,
that,
yeah,
don't
no,
you?
no. I want a steak and a well-written comic book.
This. You want it. You want it.
And with that, we're all getting punchy. Time to get the fuck out of here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hex Allen Comics, thanks for showing up, man. Really good meeting you. All my friends, Martin, Danzig, Mr. Tickle Trick War Monkey, all you sons of bitches in the chat, thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of the show. Again, glad you showed up, Flaccid. I'm not sure. Should I call you Flaccid or Phoenix? Which one do you
just call him FP?
Call me Daddy.
Danny. Well, I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, thank you, everybody. With that, we're going to get the hell out of here. And do Keith and I a favor. Get off the fucking lawn. Man, stop playing with our sprinklers. Jesus, get your own damn yard.
Press the like button.
Like
and subscribe.
Comment. Tell us things. Tell us if you like the show. I don't care. It's awesome. We just love to hear from you.
Send Fat Steven money.
Yeah, please do. Send me money. Give me money. Yeah.
No.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.
You know we're on other sites, Keith, right?
Yeah, I know.
Give me money. Give me money.
Give me money.
And just so you guys know, you guys are the only reason we do this show. And that's why we're grateful that you show up.
Give me money.
Give me money.
Give Gary a reach.
You can always come see us tomorrow on the Saturday morning fun time.
Give me money.
Give me money.